Hello, fellow Minecrafters. Gearsaw Studios here. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a terrace farm because sometimes you just don't have much water, so might as well use it efficiently. However, before I begin, remember, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. So, with that, onto the tutorial. Since this build is only a farm, it doesn't require much materials, just a lot of dirt, some farmland, so you're going to need a hoe, cobblestone, and polished andesite. So the thing is, terrace farms work by having some water at the top and the water flows down, so that way it hydrates more crops. So, of course, we need a hill to do this on. So, find a conveniently shaped hill, or just find some sort of mound, like this, so that way you can have the water flowing down. Now that you have this, you should get your blocks out and establish the shape of the hill. So, go 3 blocks up and grab yourself a stair of polished andesite. Then, place down another stair right there, and just keep repeating. Now that we have this framing, I forgot to mention one thing with the palette. It's that we're going to be using stone bricks in their variants, so try to get some of those into the build. Now that we have this outline here, go to the other side and find where you want it to come out of on the other side, because having it just like this isn't going to do anything. So do what you have over here and just repeat it on this side. You might have to do some excavating depending on the hill/plateau shape though. So you should probably grab a shovel and or a pickaxe. Now that I've done some excavation and light terraforming over here so that way it blends in a little bit better, it's time to connect these up. So place down some stairs, and all you have to do is just place stairs and connect the 2 sides up, because this will provide some structural detail and it will allow you to build better because you will be able to see how it's going to work. So connect the 2 sides together. Now that we have something that just looks like a ginormous staircase, it's time to place in the dirt. So, of course, this means you're going to have to punch out certain areas so that way you can actually build. So, typically, you want to make the steps as long as you can without the water going out. So, this isn't necessarily the most efficient, but it's nice looking. So, if you want to just have something looking nice, I'd recommend doing this. If you want something more efficient, make sure that it goes up slower, so that way you can use more space without all the drops. So, fill in the entire place with dirt. Now that we have the dirt in, it's time to do the ceiling. So right here, you could add more terraces, but I prefer not to because that would take a while and overall it would just not look good over time. So fill in this entire area with stone bricks, or you can leave it as dirt. It's up to you. So what we should do now, since we have the ceiling made out of stone bricks, is we should start adding the cobblestone onto the sides to give it a foundation. So, just by doing this, you can add a foundation. So do this on all sides, and one thing you should note is, since we have stairs right here, you could just turn it into polished andesite and add the cobblestone from here. So, it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. But I'm going to do it because I particularly like the shape of what it looks like when it's done. So, add the cobblestone foundation. However, do not add it here, because this is going to be reserved for stone bricks. Now that most of the foundation is in, well really all of the foundation is in, it's time to add the water. So what you should do is space it out properly. So do it every 4 blocks like this, because the calculations for water are pretty unique. So, something like this should work, but make sure to dig out canals for it, and give those canals a bottom, or else it won't flow. So, you're probably going to have to switch through spectator mode if you're in creative mode, because you might trap yourself. As for me, I'm going to accidentally trap myself a lot. But what you should do is engrave a little way through the wall, so that way the water can flow down. So, repeat this until you get to your desired level. So, I've dug out the canals, and it's time to place down the water. So, you should just make a quick spot for the water. You can decorate it later, and just place it down. So what you can see here is it's flowing down, which effectively hydrates these terraces. So repeat it on the other side, and then you can hydrate your whole field with only 2 buckets of water. So it's both decorative and it's effective. So if you need crops, just build one of these. So of course, now you need to actually till the land. So just quickly till the land. Another thing to note is water can pass through solid blocks kind of like this for hydration purposes. So doing this is an effective measure to keep it pretty. Now that the crops are in, we can take our creative side and we can improve upon it. So what you should do is add polished andesite here, decorate the backs of these, and my favorite thing to do, make the walls go in a little, because it adds more depth to the build, and honestly, that's one of the big mistakes that new builders make, and that's not adding enough depth. So something like this, and you can add doors to add storage rooms and stuff like that. It just makes the build a lot better. So do what I did here, and then plant the crops. So if you're going through with the sunken in walls, an issue you might run into is the fact that the sides of the foundation might come through. So since I don't actually have a foundation on this side because it's not needed because the plateau, you're going to have to make some sort of trade-off. You can either make this side not sunken in or replace it with cobblestone or just have a relatively unequal build. So it's up to you what you'll do. So I'm just going to leave this wall not sunken in and do the same for the other side. So this build is almost done. The crops are planted, the things decorated, and we have a barrel wall for storage. Of course, you can make little rooms inside of here, but that involves more digging, and a barrel wall at the bottom serves relatively the same purpose. So you can swim up the falls to get to the various levels, and the more levels, the more crops. So just make sure that you grow all the crops you need, as in everything besides beetroot. Then you should light up the area. Torches do the job just fine. So add torches, glowstone, sea lanterns, whatever light source you have ready for you. So once you light this place up, it's time to just watch the crops grow. So now that all the crops are grown, we can see this from a nighttime view and it looks very nice. The crops are lit up by torches, you have the barrel wall, the water, and although it might not be the most realistic representation of what a terrace farm is, it works really good for its purpose. So for one last view of the build before the video is over, I'm just looking at it through Slider's Vibrant Shaders High Edition, so that way we can just see how nice it really is. So those of you who play with shaders, you should thoroughly enjoy this build, so I'd highly recommend building this even if you don't have shaders, because it both supplies food and looks nice. So with that, it's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe, it really helps me out. So, with that, take care, eat your vegetables, Gearsaw out.